What's up, soapers? My name is Lily, and today we are making a kitty soap. Yes, a soap for down there, for balancing the pH and helping odor. I'm so excited to make this soap. Let's get to it. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I have my oils here melted down. I did a coconut oil, avocado oil, and shea butter. So we melted all of those down and let those oils cool to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. This is sitting at 112 degrees Fahrenheit or 44 degrees Celsius. I made my lye and I also cooled that to around 120 degrees. Right now we're sitting at 108 Fahrenheit, which is absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, pour in my lye into my oils. You always wanna make sure that your temperatures are sitting right so that we don't seize our batch or the batch will get too hot. I always start by hand whisking my soap batches. If I go right in with that blender, then I can also risk seizing it, tracing it too fast. There are so many things that can go wrong if your soap gets too hot. So I'm just gonna whisk all of that together. I'm watching my temperatures as I go here. I never want my soap to get hotter than 140 degrees. My soap batch is currently sitting at 111 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead in with my blender and just give it a few zaps because I wanna get it to that light trace. Now that I'm comfortable with where my temperatures are sitting at, I am gonna blend it to a light trace. Once I'm comfortable with that and I've reached a trace that I like, I'm almost at a light trace here, but it's time to add in my pink kaolin clay. One thing about the pink kaolin clay is that you have to mix a little bit of it and then the rest of it, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to give a few pulses here, and you do have to blend your pink clay so that it gets vibrant. We've got that bright pink. I'm now gonna add this pink clay color into my main batch here. And then this is gonna help avoid any clumps. I'm not gonna have any weird clumps. And then we are gonna get that vibrant pink. And I'm just gonna hand stir this in because, again, I don't wanna seize my batch. I don't want it to get too hot. Saponification, the reaction when you're making soap, is an exothermic reaction, which means that it releases heat. So the more that you stir it, the more that you play with it, the hotter it's gonna get. So always keep that in mind. We never want our soap to be above 140 degrees because that is where it will seize on us. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in my essential oils here. I'm using a lavender and tea tree essential oil. I did 1 ounce of lavender essential oil and ½ an ounce of tea tree essential oil, completely optional. If you're super sensitive down there, you don't have to add any essential oil at all, but I chose lavender and tea tree because they're both pretty sensitive. Lavender is very soothing and tea tree really helps balance the pH and with that odor down there. So I'm gonna add that in. And again, anytime that I add essential oils or fragrance or anything to my soap, I'm gonna hand stir that in. So many soapers make this mistake of wanting to rush the process and blend the entire way. But you know what? It's good to be scared of your blender, okay? Don't be scared of your whisk, but you can be scared of your blender. And I'm getting the most beautiful pink here. Once all of my essential oils are thoroughly mixed together, I'm gonna make sure they're all in there. You'll start to notice your batch thicken up a bit more because essential oils are a catalyst, which means that they speed up your reaction without using up themselves. So you'll still smell that essential oil, but it is going to cause more of a reaction in your soap. Now that I've reached a trace that I'm comfortable with, you can see this is actually a light trace. I want to show you guys a medium trace, so I'm going to blend it to a medium trace. Notice how quickly that gets thick. That's as far as I'm going to go. I literally blended it for like 10 seconds. Make sure I get all of my soap out of there. And I am loving this trace. Look at how beautiful it is. All right. Now, since I've reached the trace that I like, I'm gonna go ahead. It's time to pour into my soap mold. This trace is so stunning. Now I'm gonna pour this into my mold very gently. See how thick it got so fast. Oh, that's so beautiful. Now, of course, I'm gonna get every last drop of soap into my mold. I don't like to waste anything. This smells so good, you guys. Beautiful. So because I blended it, I might have a few air bubbles in there. You definitely saw it when it was in the bowl. So to get air bubbles out, and even at the top, I'm just gonna shake it and gently on the table like this. And that'll get rid of any air bubbles. This is super important. Look at how beautiful that is. Once I got all of the air bubbles out of my soap, I'm gonna set this aside for 2 to 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna texturize the top. So just set your soap aside for a few minutes and then come back to it. You can clean up in the process and make sure that your space is ready to go for the next one. I let this sit for about 2 to 5 minutes, and now I'm gonna take a little 1/4 teaspoon little spoon. You can use any spoon, any size you want, and I'm just gonna texturize along the top. The thicker your soap is, the easier it is to texturize the top. That's why I wanted to achieve that medium trace. And I'm just doing little divots in my soap like this, and I'm gonna go over it again. I think this is so cute. If you're afraid of holes, I don't think you're gonna like this. What is that called? When you're afraid of holes? Let me know in the comments. I like to just go over it until I'm happy with it, but definitely beware. Soapers get a little trigger happy when it comes to texturizing the top of our soaps, and we literally won't stop. That looks absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with this one. That looks absolutely adorable. I'm obsessed with the way that this came out. I love the texture on the top, but of course, if you don't like it, you can texturize it however you want or just leave it flat, but I wanted to show you guys that technique. This is our Kitty Bar, our soap for down there, great for balancing pH and managing your scent down there. Anyways, I hope that you love this soap as much as I do. It's nourishing, it smells super sweet, and it's really, really gentle on the skin. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get this recipe, you can check out the downloadable version below. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow my Instagram at handmade_soap club. I'll link everything down below, and come back next Friday for our next recipe.